Hari Om. In today's session, we will see the fourth shloka of Bhaj Govindam. So let us first chant the shloka. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tadvajivitamati chapalam. तद्वज्जीवितमतिशयचपलं विद्धि व्याध्यभिमानग्रस्तं विद्धि व्याध्यभिमानग्रस्तं लोकं शोकहतं च समस्तं शोकहतं च समस्तम् भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोकृन्कर्णे. So far, in the previous three shlokas of this lovely text, Bhaj Govindam by Sri Shankaracharya ji, we have seen how the Acharya, he deals with our misconceptions in life, how he hammers the various misconceptions that we are living today, and he is directing us to the real goal of life. Our misconceptions that we should live life for the fulfillment of various worldly desires and run behind the various resources that will fulfill these desires. Shankaracharya ji, he tells us that although these are important in our life, yet these are only means of life, and that we should come to understand what is the real goal of life. And by realizing the real goal of life, then understanding what is the direction that will lead us to this goal of life. And therefore, he also gives us a direction of the sadhanas that we should be practicing. The sadhanas that will prepare our mind, prepare our body, prepare our intellect for this knowledge. So one mustn't take up sadhanas that which we fancy for ourselves. And that is why the first shlok started when the Acharya tells this old gentleman that Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dokran karne. At the end time of your life, when the life will near your end, at that time, any kind of sadhana which will not help you fulfill the goal is not going to support you. Any kind of sadhana like learning Sanskrit grammar or any kind of sadhana which we fancy taking up is not going to support me if it is not going to help me fulfill my goal of connecting to God, of realizing God, of realizing the truth of my own self. And therefore the Acharya gives us a vivek, gives us an understanding of which sadhana we should practice and also how long we should practice. So we dealt with that in the first shloka, and then the Acharya goes on to hammer, as though hammer on another very popular delusion regarding the importance, the undue importance which we give to the various worldly resources like wealth and other things. So we shouldn't be seeing wealth as the end of our life, as the goal of our life, but we should come to realize that this is just a means, it is just a facilitator to make our life comfortable and convenient. And then we also saw in the last shloka, in the third shloka, how we should have a right understanding, we should have a right attitude, a healthy attitude, a realistic understanding of the mutual relationship between a man and a woman. What is the purpose of this relationship? How far this relationship can take us? So that was dealt with in the third shloka. And now in this shloka, the Acharya, he warns us again on yet another very important point which we tend to take for granted. And that is, the Acharya goes on to say that don't take your life for granted. Very important thing. We tend to take our life for granted, that life has come to us so easily, it has come as a gift of God, but we don't realize the value of life. We don't realize what is the purpose of this life. And therefore, we as though seem to while away this life following the herd mentality, following the mentality of running behind various worldly achievements, running behind money, running behind fame, and spending the time in various comforts and entertainment and fulfilling our various worldly pleasures. So the Acharya says that come to see, my dear friend, come to see how valuable this life is. Come to see how you have got this life as a precious gift of God. And therefore, don't waste it. Don't waste your time in only superficial things of life. Or here the Acharya specifically says that life by itself, which is such a beautiful gift of God, this life is equally unsteady. It is impermanent. It is so momentary. We cannot predict when and what time, which part of the life will be the last moment of my life. It is so unpredictable. And so here the Acharya, he explains this point, the unsteadiness of life, the unpredictability of life, the momentary nature of life. He gives us a very beautiful example to explain this. As we are seeing over here, that Shankaracharya ji, as he is known, his style of writing, his style of sharing this knowledge with us, his style of sharing this philosophy with us is popularly known as the Prasanna Gambhir Shaili. The Prasanna Gambhir style, which implies that the knowledge which the Acharya is sharing with us is very in-depth. It reveals the truth of life, and at the same time, the presentation of this knowledge is very, very enjoyable. It's pleasant. It's poetic. And when you read it, there is a rhythm in his writing. There is a beauty in it. There is, as we see in, Sanskrit literature or even Hindi literature, there is a term called alankar, which means that the presentation, the writing is very, very pleasant to the ears, very, very pleasant to the mind. So very poetic, very beautiful examples are taken up. So here the Acharya again takes up a very beautiful example of a lotus flower and a drop of water on it. In fact, this example is one of the most popular examples in all our scriptures. The lotus flower, the petals of a lotus flower, the leaves of a lotus flower, how when we see little droplets of water on it, they seem to be there on the petals, they seem to be there on the leaf of the flower, and yet they seem to be detached from it. So this example is also very popularly quoted to understand detachment. But here the Acharya is saying that have you ever seen the petals of a lotus flower? Have you seen the little beautiful shining drops of water in it? How beautiful they look. when we see a drop of water, a dewdrop on the petal of a lotus flower, or any petal for that matter, on leaves, they are giving out such beautiful radiance of light. They look so gentle, they look so beautiful to the eyes. So, when you see this drop of water, although it appears to be so beautiful, very pleasing to the eyes, yet the nature of this droplet or on the petal of the flower is extremely ephemeral. It is extremely unsteady. It is extremely unpredictable. One moment you see this drop of water, and the other moment it seems to have evaporated. It seems to have dropped somewhere. It seems to have gone. So, as we see this drop of water on a lotus flower, similarly, come to see your life in that manner. Life, although very beautiful, very precious, but at the same time it is extremely unsteady, unstable. We cannot take it for granted that I have got this life and I'm going to be there in this body, I'm going to adorn this life for as long as I wish to. We all know so many times we get the news of our near and dear ones. We get the news of people around us whom we have seen just a few minutes back. We have seen them a few hours back, and then suddenly we get a news that, oh, this person has gone. This person was there in flesh and blood, living, breathing, talking to me. And now suddenly I get the news that he is gone. Like very recently, we got the news of this popular film star, Sushant Singh Rajput, a very young, aspiring film actor, and suddenly one day we get the news that he is dead and gone. So when we listen to such kind of a news, it comes to us as a big shock. But people who are aware of this truth of life, they know that life is so unpredictable. Life is so unsteady. Therefore, what is the attitude that I should have towards my life? Life has come to me as a blessing from God. Like in the Ramayana it is said, Bade bhag manush tan pava. So it is a great privilege that we have been born in this human body. We have got this human upadhi. It is such a great blessing. And an intelligent person is one who makes the most of this human life, who makes the most of this human birth. And therefore the message here is that don't procrastinate. Don't take it for granted. Set your priorities right. Although various kinds of things, as we have seen here also in the previous shlokas, all the requirements of our life, all these resources which are needed to take care of this body, to take care of our family, to take care of the needs of our food, clothing and shelter, all these requirements should be taken care of, and in the best possible manner. There should be no compromise on that. But at the same time, we also need to see this is not the priority of my life. This is a means. The priority is something else. The goal is something else. And that goal is connecting oneself to God, connecting oneself to the truth of life, connecting oneself to the truth of one's own self. This is the objective of a human birth. This is the goal of a human birth. And if we take life for granted, then obviously, as we see, that we are spending years and years together in only achieving superficial things of life. So here the Acharya says, Nalani dalagata jalam atitaralam. So Nalani dalagata, just as a lotus flower, the petal of a lotus flower and the droplet of water on that, how atishaya chapalam, atishaya taralam, it appears to be so unsteady, so also here the Acharya says, Tadvat jivitam atishaya chapalam. So also in the same manner come to see your own life as equally unsteady. Very often when we are given the inspiration, various Mahatmas, various Acharyas, they give us the inspiration that, learn the Bhagavad Gita, study the Bhagavad Gita, peep into the scriptures, see how these scriptures are connected to life, see how these scriptures, the Ramayana, the Bhagavad Gita, and these scriptures, how they teach us the art of living, how connected they are to us in such an intimate manner. Come to study that, come for satsang. At that time, we feel, oh, this is too early for me to, study the Bhagavad Gita or study the Shastras, study the scriptures, go for satsang. At the most, that what we can practice is that Swamiji, I regularly go to the temple, I go to various temples and I make my offerings, I worship at home, and sometimes I also keep a fast. Once in a year, maybe I also go for a pilgrimage. So I do all these things. But studying the scriptures and going for satsang, isn't it too far fetched? Isn't it too early for me? Don't you think that I can do this when I retire from all these various, jobs and business, all these kind of responsibilities? So I will study the scriptures when I retire. This is our understanding. This is our misbelief. And because we feel that I'm going to live for a very long time, I'm going to live as long as I wish to. So I know I'm going to live for so many years, and therefore I can afford to postpone my studying of the scriptures or trying to understand who is Ishvara, what is my connection with Ishvara, what is the objective of my life. So there is so much time, for all these things. So why hurry? Just as a little child, his mother was telling him, study, beta, padhai karo, abhi se hi padhai karoge, so then you will be ready for your exam. So don't, procrastinate your studies for the last minute of your exam. Study from now only. So the mother tells the child that, the popular doha, where kaal kare so aaj kare so ab, पल में परलय होएगी फेर करेगा कब. So the mother, she is inspiring the child, little boy, with this kind of quotations. And the child also, he is very smart. So he has come up with his own version of handling life and time. So he says, आज करे सो कल करे सो परसों, इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है यारो, जब जीना है बरसों. तो आज करे सो कल कर. So he says, why worry, mom? What's the hurry? Whatever I need to do today, okay, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, I'll do it day after tomorrow. What's the worry? Because I know there's so much time left. But we all know, people who have seen life closely, we all know that we cannot take life for granted. We've got to make the best use of this precious gift that we have from God. The precious gift of not only this body, mind and intellect, but the precious gift of time, the precious gift of the various potentials that we have, the various things that we can do for ourselves, for society and for everyone. And most importantly, we need to utilize this time to know the reality of life. What is the truth of life? So life is very precious, and if this is not realized, if this is not understood, then obviously we will not make the best of it. Like in the Upanishads also it is said, in Ishavasya Upanishad it is said, Kurvanneveha karmani jiji vishe shatagum samaha. Have the desire to live 100 years, and by performing the best of actions that we can, by living the life to the best manner that we can. So aim to live for 100 years. Although there it is said that aim to live for 100 years, but we know that Life is so unstable that whether we will live for 100 years or not, we don't know. Maybe we can. Maybe the average lifespan at one time was 100 years. So, keeping that in mind, it is said over here. But a deeper implication, which more acharyas have given to us, is that live life to the 100% of whatever you have got, whatever time we have got, whatever resources we have got, live it to the fullest, live 100% of it, and make the most of it, not only for yourself but everyone around you. So, Tadvajivitam atishaya chapalam, because life is so chapal, atishaya chapal, extremely unstable. Like I experience, like as we go birding, we are fond of bird photography. So very often we go to the jungles with our cameras and we try to capture various moments of the birds around. So there we get such a very near example of this atishaya chapalta, extremely unstable. So very playful. So when you see a bird and you try to capture a bird in your camera, in one moment, in a fraction of a second, it's in front of you, and in a fraction of a second, it's gone. So one moment it's there and the other moment it's gone. So life also, one moment you see there is a human being in front of you, living, talking, performing actions, studying, sharing, and the other moment we see he's gone. So this is the nature of life. And then the Acharya says that seeing the importance of time, seeing the value of this life that you have got, also come to realize that when we are living life with an attitude of just wanting to acquire various worldly experiences, worldly achievements, all the kind of different worldly experiences, when we are constantly running behind all these worldly things, then what is the nature of life in that process? What do we see in life at that time? So the Acharya says that also come to see that the moment, all the time we are running behind worldly achievements, Vidhi Vyadhi Abhimanagrastam Lokam Shokahatam Cha Samastam. Vidhi, come to understand. Don't ignore this fact that even though life is very beautiful, all the experiences are beautiful, at the same time you also know that this body which we are so proud of, which we are so proud in the sense that we feel that I can do anything, I can achieve anything and I can fulfill anything. And sometimes we have this, arrogance of being a super being, of being a human being, a being who can achieve so many things. But isn't this a fact that this body which we are so proud of also has its limitations? This is a body which is also diseased at so many times. This is a body which also feels unhealthy at times. This is a body which goes through so many changes. In the Vedantic scriptures, it is said that this body which we have, this gross body, it goes through Shad Vikars, 6 types of modifications. This body is born at a particular point of time and then slowly it grows. So the child which is born, who is conceived, who comes into existence, he is then born, and then slowly you see this child growing up, he grows young, and then there is a time when the potential of the physical body, the ability of the body, the health of the body reaches its peak. And then we also see a time when the graph of this body slowly starts coming down. So we start aging, our body gets more and more weaker, we get more and more, fatigued. All these changes happen in our body, and slowly as we age, there comes a time when we give up this body. the body dies off. So here the Acharya says that don't you see, or come to understand, come to see that this body which you are depending upon so much for various achievements in life, this body is also diseased so often. And in these days, we are experiencing this. We are trying to protect our body from this epidemic, this pandemic which is going on called Corona. So we are struggling, we are striving so hard that how we can protect our body from coming into the jaws of this virus. So this body is also featured by various illnesses. Vidhi Vyadhi. So at the physical level, this body faces so many illnesses, it has its own limitations. And at the same time, when we look at the mental level of ourself, of our existence, at the mental level also, we tend to have our own fallacies. We tend to have our ego. We tend to have various vices. We have our falls at the mental level, at the intellectual level. So this upadhi, this jiva, he is driven, and he's also so often he falls in the drive of this ego who wants to satisfy himself, who wants to nurse himself so much. This ego also brings about our downfall. So we achieve a lot, but at the same time, as we go on achieving, we also develop this individualistic ego, which again becomes the cause of our downfall. So Vidhi Vyadhi Abhimana Grastam. We are all as though grasped, grastam. We are grasped by the clutches of these physical diseases and mental ego and the various vices of life. Lokam shokahatam cha samastam. Not only this, the entire world, all the human beings, all the jivas, they all are grief-stricken by various sorrows in life, all the situations that we achieve in life because of our own misunderstanding. See, when we have various situations towards which we feel sorrowful, towards which we are grief-stricken, all these situations in life, they by themselves don't give us sorrows. Situations by themselves don't give us pleasure, and neither do they give us sorrows. They're just situations. But with our wrong expectations, with our wrong understanding, with our moha, with our wrong expectations, we are suffering our own misconceptions. So here we seem to be grief-stricken, we seem to be facing the downfalls of our ego, all these things, because we have wrong understanding towards our own self and towards the world. So lokam shokahatam cha samastam. We feel that, oh, when I get all these kind of things, I'm going to be a very happy person. When I achieve a lot of money, I'm going to be satisfied. When I'm going to be very famous, I'm going to be satisfied. So all these kinds of misconceptions, they are ultimately going to give us grief. So we are also grief-stricken. Lokam shokahatam cha samastam. The entire world is suffering due to its own ignorance and misconception. Thus, so what is the solution? The Acharya says that don't take life for granted, but look into the scriptures, look into what is the objective of life, look into what is the goal of life. When we understand what is the goal of life, then alone we will be able to give a right direction to our life. We will be able to set our priorities right. We will be able to establish the right relationship between us and the world, between this self and the world. We need to understand the reality, and then alone we can establish the right relationship. There is nothing wrong in being in this world. There is nothing wrong in all the various experiences that we acquire in the world. There is nothing wrong in the various, things that we see in the world, all the resources, all the means in the world. In fact, this world is such a beautiful place. There's nothing to complain about. There's nothing wrong with the world. There is nothing that is going to, pull us into any kind of, negativity. But here, what we need to see is the right understanding towards the world, the right understanding towards life. Then alone, we will live a life which is peaceful. We will live a life in the right direction of gaining the right knowledge, of looking into the scriptures, and we will fulfill life in that manner. So, as the Acharya says, that don't procrastinate, don't while away your time, but make the best use of it by fulfilling the goal. And the goal being Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. Like in the Gita, Bhagwan Krishna says that Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. Retain the awareness of Ishvara, retain my awareness in your heart at all the times, and make your life a worship unto me. So, as we live this life, as we see this beautiful world, everything is nice. If we look at the world, it is such a beautiful creation. There is no doubt about it. Everything that God has given us, He has given to us as like our parents give to the child, very compassionately, very lovingly. They want to give the best to their child. So also God has created this beautiful world, and He wants to give us the best that is there. And so we have the best of nature. We have the lovely rivers, the seas, the mountains, the sun, the moon, the oceans, the birds, the trees, the animals, lovely food. Everything is beautiful. And if we look at our body, our mind by itself is a wonder. We go for a tour in the world to see the wonders of the world. But if we look at ourselves and we look at the world by itself, it is the biggest wonder. We cannot say the wonder of the world, but it is the biggest wonder by itself. Our body, our hands, our eyes, our sense of taste, our mind, our sensitivity, our intelligence, everything. They are all the lovely wonders that God has gifted us with. But these wonders become blunders when we don't have the right knowledge, when we don't know how to use this gift of God in the best manner. It becomes a blunder. It brings about grief. It brings about suffering. Or life becomes like a roller coaster where sometimes, after a lot of hard work, we are very happy, we attain a lot of pleasure, and at the moment we are sorrowful, we are grief-stricken. So we seem to be, oscillating between pleasure and sorrow, happiness and sorrow. We seem to be, on a roller coaster ride. But just imagine that life, imagine that sense of existence where I'm in perfect harmony with the world, with my understanding, right understanding of myself and the world. Perfect harmony of man and nature. Perfect understanding of my own essential nature. Then life becomes an expression of my love and joy. Today, we are living a life to acquire love from outside, to acquire joy from outside, to get various experiences from outside. But can we imagine a life where life itself is an expression of my love, where life itself is an expression of my joy? I'm not wanting things, but I'm here to share my love and joy with everyone. So this attitude of life, this state of existence, this state of blissful existence can be realized, can be awakened into when we study the scriptures, when we listen to what the acharyas are telling us, when we listen to what the shastras are telling us, and therefore here the acharya says, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. Bhaj Govindam Mudhamate. This alone is going to fulfill my life. So make the most of life, because life is so unsteady, so unpredictable. Don't take it for granted. But every moment that we have, let us make the best use of that moment by fulfilling it in the right direction. Hari Om.